Welcome to Coaching for Creatives with Kirsten. My name is Kirsti Call. I'm a therapist-trained life coach and a children's book author. Together, we'll get the drama out of our lives and onto the page. Let's get started. You are listening to Episode 43, When You Don't Agree. At my house, everyone wants to be right. This may just be part of being human, but I feel like people at my house are particularly attached to their opinions and ideas. This is why I'm constantly saying it's more important to be kind than to be right. Children in my house have been known to insist they are right, even with concrete evidence to the contrary. This just shows that many opinions we have are based on emotion, not actual studies or facts. But why we hold an opinion is actually irrelevant. Whether our beliefs and opinions are based on fact or fiction, we have a right to our own opinions. One thing I love about people who disagree with me or have different opinions is that they expand my perspective. I have friends of all races, religions, political views, Apple owners, and Android. In fact, we're split right down the middle in my family. 4 of us have Apple phones and 4 of us have Android phones, and everyone is sure their phone is the best. We've had many lively debates at the dinner table over many different topics. Sometimes those lively debates turn into disagreements, and those disagreements lead to arguments, hurt feelings, misunderstanding, and distance. Disagreements do not need to disconnect us from people. In fact, sometimes disagreements can draw us closer to each other, especially if we approach them in the right way. So, how do we handle disagreements in a way that serves us? Here are some helpful ways to disagree. Number 1, be curious. Instead of immediately telling someone they are wrong and that you disagree, get curious. Ask questions like, why do you feel this way? What made you come to that conclusion? What is it about this thing that feels true to you? The more curious you get, the less frustrated you feel. Also, curiosity helps you better understand where the other person is coming from. Curiosity builds empathy and compassion. Curiosity connects. Number 2, don't make the disagreement personal. When someone says they don't like peaches and peaches are your favorite, understand it's just an opinion. It has nothing to do with you, even if they totally disagree with you. Just as an aside, sometimes close family members, perhaps children or teens, may disagree just to rile you up. But that's the exception, not the rule, right? So don't take disagreements personally, or make them personal and then go into attack mode. If you're feeling angry, chances are you're angry at the concept you're discussing, not the person themselves. Number 3, don't put the other person's opinion down. Even though you may be thinking, that's a stupid idea. Don't say it. Anytime you yell or are sarcastic or respond to another person in a negative way, you escalate a discussion from disagreement to an actual altercation. We don't need to fight over our differing opinions or ideas. There's room for all of the ideas. There's more than one way to think about things. There's more than one right way to think about and do things. Okay, so number 4, avoid words like always and never. And this can sometimes be very hard, especially for people like me. I like to hyperbolize. But if you tell someone you never help me with the dishes, for example, chances are they'll be able to find one time they did help. Then they feel defensive, and then a true argument begins. Words like always and never are almost always false and almost never true. Number 5, listen to understand, not to win. Instead of trying to win an argument or debate, listen to the other person to really understand where they're coming from. Remember, communication is not a competition. Rather, it's an effort to understand the other person. When you're listening to understand, you might say things like, that makes sense, or I can see why you feel that way, or I'm okay with us disagreeing on this topic. This disagreement doesn't mean I love you any less. When we use those types of thoughts and sentences, and when we say those types of things, it draws us closer to each other. Number 6, approach the disagreement as an opportunity. Growing up, when I would disagree with my siblings or others, my dad would say, conflict? Opportunity. Conflict or disagreements are an opportunity to see how we're going to approach the discussion. It's an opportunity to be creative. It's an opportunity to open our minds to differing viewpoints. Conflict is an opportunity to see how we approach difficult and uncomfortable situations. Do we feel inferior or personally attacked? Do we feel out of control? How are we choosing to approach this disagreement? Are we choosing an abundance of love instead of derision or disrespect? Are we choosing to make what the other person says mean something bad about us? Or are we understanding that disagreement doesn't mean that we can't be close? Okay, the last one is number 7. Be willing to be wrong. And I cannot emphasize enough how important this one is. Sometimes we are so sure of our stance that we aren't open to any other point of view. It is okay to be wrong. In fact, it's normal. Most of us are wrong at least some of the time, even though we don't think we are. It's okay to hold an opinion that other people don't have also. Approaching the disagreement from an empowered place versus a fearful place comes from our ability to be humble and allow for our humanness and propensity to make mistakes. We are each responsible for our own opinions. We are responsible for our own actions. So own your opinions and your actions and give yourself permission to make mistakes, apologize, and start over. Again, it is okay to be wrong. It's okay to disagree and hold on to our opinion. And also, it's okay to be like, wow, perhaps what that other person is thinking might be right. So, here are some helpful things to think when you disagree with someone. It's okay for us to disagree. I can be close with someone who doesn't agree with me on this issue. It's okay for someone to misunderstand me. It's okay for someone to be angry or upset about my opinions. Nothing has gone wrong here. It makes sense that we would disagree. And again, it's okay for us not to agree. It's okay. And it's normal. Because each of us is so unique, we are always going to have things that we don't agree on. Relationships thrive when we are willing to express differing opinions and also willing to listen to each other. We feel respected and listened to in the process. When we make it through a difficult conversation and listen to each other through disagreements, our relationships thrive. We are more authentic, more vulnerable, more connected. We all disagree with people sometimes. So, as you disagree, don't be afraid to voice your opinion. People you know will be better for it. Also, be sure to listen to the opposite point of view. When we expand our understanding, we are better able to love all types of people. And that's worth disagreeing over. Until next time, keep smiling. If you like what you've heard, check out my Get Yourself Unstuck program. Go to KirstenCall.com. That's KirstineCall.com and schedule a free consultation today. Coaching for Creatives is produced by Kirsten Call. Music and audio engineering by James Call.